So have you got the right frameworks that are there that are right for your team and right for your team right now? Have you got the stories that engage people in why those frameworks are important to them? And then have you got the knowledge in terms of how to apply those frameworks? Hi, and welcome to Helping You Perform. I'm your host, Paul Teasdale. Over a career working with high-performing teams from across the globe, including 7 years working with Formula One team McLaren, I've learned a lot about what it takes to drive results. In this weekly podcast series, I'm going to be bringing you tips, tricks and insights from the world of Formula One that you can apply for your organisation for your own high performance. Enjoy. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Helping You Perform, where I bring my tips, tricks, insights and stories from the world of Formula One and other high-performing environments to help you accelerate your own performance. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode 60, where I talked about some myths and some misnomers around the world of high performance. And I talked about, things being exciting and easy and really glamorous, and how actually the world of high performance is very much the flip of that for the majority of time. So this week, I wanted to talk about, how do you actually get these lessons that are there, this high performance inspiration that's from any environment or from any set of stories, from any individual who's bringing these stories to you. And how do you get them? What are the elements that you need in order to make sure that you get performance out of it? Because ultimately, it's about performance. If it's just the stories in and of themselves, it's interesting. If it is the frameworks, we talk a lot about some of the frameworks, rapid performance, we talk about reframe. Go back to some of the previous episodes of this podcast, and you'll see some frameworks that are really good for helping think and frame up some of those challenges so that you can apply those. If you've got just that, then you've got some knowledge. But all you've got is some knowledge of some new frameworks, some new tools. And if you combine those tools with the stories, you've got something that people can latch onto and actually start to get some interest and some sort of story and some sort of ability to create change and engage people in change in the organization. But actually those two things together won't get you the results, in my experience. What you'll be missing is how do you actually apply those stories? How do you apply those frameworks to your world? And similarly, if you've only got the experience of how to apply something, and maybe you've got the tools with it, you'll find that, you've got some application, you might get some one-off wins, but you haven't got the stories that sit behind it. So you haven't got the engagement that goes with it to actually get people truly involved and have sustainable results. And if you've got that how to apply with the stories, then you're hoping that people will understand how those stories relate to your organization without the ability to sort of latch on to a framework and a common way of communicating. So it's those three things together, in my experience. It's the frameworks, the stories, and the how to apply those things, the sort of practical support in terms of how do you apply those frameworks. Those are the three things that together create that magic dust that get you the actual high performance and sustained high performance that go with it. So I want you to have a think this week about those three things for yourself. Which one of those three might you be missing? Which one of those three might you be weaker in than the other two? Because like any sort of recipe, if you haven't got the right mix of ingredients 1, 2, and 3, then maybe you're going to be leaning towards a certain result or a certain outcome from your team and organization. So have you got the right frameworks that are there that are right for your team and right for your team right now? Have you got the stories that engage people in why those frameworks are important to them? And then have you got the knowledge in terms of how to apply those frameworks? So not knowing what the frameworks are, but knowing how to apply them. And if you have an imbalance in any one of those three, I'll be willing to bet that you're seeing a drop in performance or leaving some performance on the table. And so if you are struggling with any one of those three, or you're struggling to pull them all together, please, this is what I love doing to help people. I believe those three elements are going to be the secret sauce that you can really start to drive change and drive performance in your teams and your organizations. So as always, if you want to contact me, have a think about how do you get more knowledge in those spaces, how do you build up your skills, how do you challenge yourself so that you can lift up your whole team's performance in a sustainable manner, then drop me a message through www.paulteasdale.co.uk, and I'd love to see where this can go for you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Helping You Perform podcast. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or review the podcast. You can reach out to me at any time, either through LinkedIn or through my website at www.paulteasdale.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.